Through yet another dream, I have witnessed the final resting place of Cleon the Butcher of Armandale. However, from the very brief glimpse I saw of his burial, there were very few hints conveyed as to where the resting place is. I need to think long and hard on what I have seen, and what clues were given by the conspirators if I wish to find Cleon's grave. Blacksmith is meant to be a hint, but sometimes people don't understand. There's only one person who's ever legitimately called a blacksmith in this entire game. The rest are just, smithies or whatever. So, let's see. Oops, wrong thing. Let us travel to Anvil. All the way down here. Quite a distance. Let's see. Castle Anvil. Yes. Must go to Castle Anvil. Castle. That's a good show. I'm glad Nathan Fillion finally has a good show that he's actually, sticking with. Firefly was an awesome show. Sadly, it got cancelled, and many people protested. Alright, let us continue. Whoops. Oh, we'll be seeing this place again several times in the future. This will be lovely. For several different reasons. Oh, hi there. So, you're hoping to find some way to resurrect the Butcher of Armandale, I presume? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Sounds like a good plan. You would not go to such lengths if that were not your intentions. Yet I wonder just how much thought you have put into this. Do you truly know what it is that you seek to awaken? There you go, trying to manipulate my face again. Do you know? You will recall that he lived and died during the early days of my time in Tamriel. You've only been here for 2 centuries? You may also recall that the two of us had a hand at shaping him into the monster that we all know and love. I'm not sure that resurrecting Cleon the Butcher is a good way to redeem yourself for your pre-incarnation's crimes. And I sincerely doubt he will be pleased to see you should he ever learn who you really are. What can you tell me of him? He was a fiend before we made him into a more terrible fiend. There's no denying that you and I corrupted him, yet we only helped bring forth the shadows that lurked in his soul. We did not create them. He was tainted by his past and his insignificant origins, cursed by an unerringly unfulfilled desire to aspire to something. So desperate was he to escape his origins that he was willing to sell his soul to you. Or at the very least, your pre-incarnation. There are some things that he did during this life that haunt me to this day. Such as... I remember one incident in particular, involving a nobleman who owned a small estate somewhere east of Bruma. This particular nobleman owned a small yet incredible well-trained force of mercenaries who were tasked with guarding the estate. When warned by the Lord of Bruma that the threat that Cleon posed was in the region, the nobleman scoffed at the warning. So certain was he of his guard's superiority and Cleon's ineptness as a general that he outwardly mocked the butcher. He sent a letter challenging Cleon to attack his estate and referring to him as an uneducated farmhand, among other things. Naturally, Cleon was infuriated by the letter and promptly sacked and destroyed the estate, capturing the nobleman before he could escape. Alicia pauses as if attempting to collect her thoughts, and her eyes turn to you for guidance. Go on. I remember the butcher binding the nobleman to a pike and forcing him to watch as the nobleman's family, a wife and 2 daughters, were slaughtered. I I remember Cleon holding the nobleman's eyelids open as he drank the blood that spewed from the open wound in the side of his wife's neck. And I remember Cleon turning the nobleman to a goblin clan from the surrounding area, with strict instructions that the nobleman be used to satiate their perverse pleasures. Alicia's eyes grow dark and her face turns stark white. And I remember you laughing as the entire event took place. Yeah, well, that's kind of what he would do up here in my head. Perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps Cleon the Butcher is a good match for you after all. I kind of have a split personality now. Or perhaps we will talk about this again later. I do not wish to speak of it anymore. I have one split personality, and later I will get another. Cleon's grave. And we're gonna get that creepy laughter again. The stink of undeath radiating off the skeleton in front of you is nearly overpowering. You aren't too sure whether or not you should touch the potion of undeath resting atop it. First we will grab these potions, just for fun. Skeleton, crumpled journal, potion of undeath. Actually, let's exit first and read the crumpled journal, and then we will take the potion of undeath. Let me see. Crumpled journal. A crumpled journal, okay. For 3 long years I have labored to bring my Lord General Cleon back from the realm of the dead, and for 3 long years I have failed consistently. My story is one of minimal success accompanied by enormous failure, and ultimately a tale that will end with my death due to the stink of undeath that has consumed my body and my soul. It took me 5 years to locate the final resting place of Cleon, and a great deal of bloodshed before I gained access to this chamber. I knew in my heart that my lord was alive, and devoted myself to the dark task of resurrecting him from his helpless slumber within the void. My first setback came when I realized that resurrecting Cleon's flesh was not enough, and that unless I could recall his soul to his body, he could never be restored to life. I set about finding a solution to this problem, and it came when my alchemical experiments produced a potion that could simulate death itself. My own faithlessness meant that when I die, I will become trapped in the void, and by consuming the potion of undeath, I could walk in the void for brief periods of time before the effects wore off and I was returned to life. Yet upon entering the screaming realm of the void, I was confronted by all manner of beasts, and never even came close to locating Cleon's soul. Since that day, I have made no less than 13 trips into the void, all of which have ended in failure, yet I will make no more such journeys, for I have learned the hard way that spending time in the void permanently taints one's spirit, and even now my life force is fading into oblivion. I will not survive much longer. My one hope is that someone will. The writing trails off amidst a smear of blood. There you go. Great idea, guy. Let me take that potion from you. And instantly teleport. The truth of what happened to Butcher Rummendale and to his battered body is far more dire indeed. Even as you touch the potion, you can feel its oily contents seeping through the stopper in its neck. The moment it makes contact with your skin, you cry out as you feel your life essence being stolen from you. As the final threads of your life are severed, you find yourself being consumed by the void of the afterlife. I have managed to find my way into the void of the faithless, where Cleon's soul is bound for all eternity. Perhaps I can find it. If I can find his soul, perhaps I can persuade it to return to his flesh. Well, hello there! How are you today, me? Wow, that's creepy. And so you are here at last. I was wondering how long it would take for you to arrive here. The creature standing before you studies you intently, its face growing disappointed as her studies progress. And yet, it would seem that you are not here. Well, not entirely yet. Your spirit has not become trapped in the abyss of the faithless. Which means that you can only be here for one reason. The Butcher of Armandale. Who are you? Who am I? I am surprised that you do not recognize me. After all, we both occupy the same physical shell. Yet, whereas you harbor the corporeal form, I am forever damned to remain in this nightmare. My husk to satisfy the vessel for your essence. My damnation to satisfy your desire to live forevermore. It hardly seems fair to me. Where's the Butcher? He is deeper in the abyss, probably fighting for his very unlife. He chooses the demon as his companion and shuns all of us. Thus, his fate is his own. None of us will lift a finger to aid that monster if ever he should need it. If you are seeking him, then you had best hurry. It is not safe to remain in this place for too long a time, especially if you are not yet dead. Where is this place? This is the Abyss of the Faithless, a domain that I occupy because I was never given any opportunity to find my faith. Though I'm sure that you don't need me to explain that. Cleon, the Butcher of Armandale, on the other hand, occupies this place because of his hubris. His belief that he was superior to the gods in his mortal life. It is a punishment that he rightly deserves for his numerous crimes. Look all around you. You will see others, though most choose not to frequent this particular spot of the abyss due to how dangerous it is. Me, however, I am here because I was waiting for you. I have been waiting for you for untold years. And now I find you, only to learn that you are not yet here. You are merely a traveler, one passing through what has become my home. Very well. I'd wish you safe travels, yet I have no reason to wish such a thing upon you. No, rather I hope your luck runs short, else you and I may never speak again. And I have no doubt about it, we will have a great deal to speak about. My old soul is kind of a bee. Oh, I don't blame her, It wasn't my choice either. I'm a soul that was kind of created for... Yeah, I was created between... kind of a fracture between her and the Fiend, and now the Fiend is also in my mind, and stuff happens. Follow the mystical path of doom. And we have skeletons. Come, minions. I believe that's actually what they're called. I think they're, minions of the abyss. Die! Which is better. Sweets katana, which does 31. Yeah, I'm gonna take the sweets out. Hello, kitty sword. La da da da. Third person fighting. Come on, die. And heal. And now we're going to fight this guy. Alright, come on. da da da. I'm fighting his face off. And he's dead. Hooray. Now let's just continue onward. I wish I could say "Would not cast" and go flying.
It is often said that a warrior is made up of two beings. One, the usually placid creature that lives the majority of the time and is timid, sociable, and camaraderie. The other, the beast that rages within and is only ever set free of its cage in the heat of battle. Looking devoid of the faithless, where Cleon, the butcher of Armandale, fought for the survival of his soul, the malevolent demon inside was made flesh, as the two of them fought back to back against the hordes of undead that advanced upon them.
Fight them all! Yeah. Stop getting my way, Cleon. And the demon is unconscious. They're all actually after me. That's interesting. Yeah, they just go. And Cleon is already creating his reputation. Even though it's more his demon self than his human self. Cleon's just infamous for his very little health. Hello.
Bloodlust is fading as the battle draws to a close. Who are you, and what are you doing in this god-forsaken place?
Stop scowling at me, you look so angry.
This battleground is no place for one such as you.
You died, Cleon. This is the afterlife, and you look angry.
I died? Ah yes, how I remember. The assassins fell upon me as I walked down a back alleyway, on my way from the tavern back to the regiment. I remember their blades rising and falling with reckless abandon as they sought to tear me, limb from limb. I remember drawing my blade and attempting to defend myself, but there were too many of them. I was growing weak from loss of blood. If I am dead, then I presume that they have succeeded. If I am dead, what are you doing here? What is this beast that claims to be me?
It does not look physically possible for eyebrows to go down that far. Let me see. Come to restore you to life.
Bring with you a map of the back to life. I see you harbor powerful necromancy indeed.
Necromancy!
I can live again.
The beast is the demon inside you.
A metaphor for the evil malevolence that has laid claim to my soul is the massacre at Armandale.
Yep, exactly.
That explains a great deal, and justifies why I feel so confident in the beast's presence. The two of us have fought as allies for centuries here. And if I am to return, only to merge with the beast once again. Without it, I am but a shadow of my former self.
Let us leave this place.
Very well. Allow me a brief moment to commune with the beast. Then we shall use the map of yours to make our way back from the afterlife.
Yay! Well. Maybe. Oh, there it goes. I can't tell what he was trying to say to it.
The beast being a part of me once again. I know that it's time for me to return to the real world.
Yep, let's go.
You don't have to. I shall follow.
Stop glaring at me like that. Oh, hey, we're back. I have succeeded in my task to resurrect the long-dead General Cleon, aptly named the Butcher of Armandale. What is more important is that he has agreed to travel with me for the time being, while he becomes accustomed to the changes that Tamriel has experienced since his demise. It is still too early to say for sure, but I expect this could be the beginning of a wonderful, not to mention profitable, friendship thing.
Yes, at last, I live and breathe again. I think that despite all I have done to damn myself, I have cheated death where so many others have failed.
Good for you. You're so proud of yourself.
Yet I will admit that I could not have done it if it weren't for you. Ultimately, you have saved my soul, and for that, I will be forever in your debt. I've been trapped in the void of the faithless for a long time. Tell me, how long has it been since I last walked Tamriel?
Just a couple centuries, that's all.
200 years. 200 years. I can only imagine how much the lands must have changed since I died. I have a proposition that might serve to benefit both of us in the long run. What would you say to an alliance between you and I? Work together to cut down our enemies and make our fortunes in this new land.
Sure, why not?
You know my history. You know my unequaled skill with a blade. Our opponent shall fall like wheat before the farmer's scythe.
Unequal in how terrible you are.
We shall both be terrible and invincible to behold. What say you?
Well, let's just say this. You'll be the terrible one and I'll be the invincible one. How about that? We'll work together.
I knew that you would accept. How would any rational creature turn aside a warrior of my ability?
And you can serve as a distraction.
So be it then. We shall travel together and leave a bloody path in our wake. Now let's get going. The sight of my own grave unnerves me for some reason.
For some reason, you know. Yay! We've got stuff done. Let's leave before it does that noise again. And now comes the part where it's a lot of traveling and waiting as his conversation topics pop up over time. Where are we? I don't want to be here. I want to go down here. And with that, now that we're at a good stopping point, I guess, I will stop for the day and continue this more later. It was an eventful day. We finished the Legacy arc and began the Butcher of Armandale. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Never cease to be amazing, and bye for now.